Is this thing on?
Hark the herald angels sing. It is UCR live back again. The millennial pause of podcasts. We have it every week.
The millennial
It's little-
pause?
Yeah, you don't know about the millennial pause?
No,
No.
explain.
So the millennial pause is for people that grew up having to press record and wait for something to start. That's what all the Gen Z kids make fun of us for on TikTok and stuff. You know how they just go blah 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 and talk, and we've all got the hi everyone.
So here
So we have one inbuilt because there's the delay on StreamYard.
We're of a generation, you know. We had to hook the VCR up to record Melrose Place and 90210. Like, right? And then you had to like tape over like other precious stuff sometimes because you can't not have that episode.
Oh my god. My dad taped over a Christmas video for a Rangers game one year. And that was like, it's funny, like the tape is actually labeled Christmas 1994. And it's the Rangers game. And it is.
So when I was a little kid, I used to appear on some local TV show doing stuff. And I was a little kid though, so I wasn't very interesting at that time. And so all the episodes, though, the segments that I was in, my mum had on a tape. And then my brother decided he would just tape an Ozzy Osbourne concert over the top of it. So they're just lost to the ether now, which is probably a good thing for me. Maybe he did me a favor.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you know, when you see those videos, like those kids dance around, like, I'm Shalina.
Yeah.
There was a time when I had a whole shitload of my shows on tape, and I can't even tell you where they went.
Really?
Really?
Lost to the world. And I accidentally did tape Scream, I think, off TV over like my daughter's tap recital. Not my daughter, sorry. My sister. My daughter wasn't around during VHS.
A friend of mine, her husband taped over their wedding video.
Oh my god.
That's a bad one.
That's
for
bad.
a football game.
You're in trouble for that one.
I've had 3 different people ask me, is our podcast stopping? Like a couple of people that I know in person, and then someone last night on PlayStation asked, I don't know where they're getting that from. Is there a post about Spreaker or something that people may misread to think we're stopping?
No. Yeah. So for those of us that are listening to the audio version of the podcast, we've moved our audio hosting over to Spreaker because our previous company have shut down. So at the moment, we are available to listen to on Spreaker. I think Apple Podcast has just been added. Spotify and stuff will come later. The problem is we had, at the time of us moving from one hosting site to another, we had 1,298 episodes worth of shows over 13 years to move.
Which is approximately as many hours of listening, right?
Yes, more so because some of the older shows were like double shows, so they were 2 hours and stuff like that. And especially back when the show was unscripted radio and call-in, sometimes they went for 2.5 hours. So there's episodes now there that are way back from the way back when machine. But they are there. They are there to listen to on Spreaker. The important thing is monetized now as well. So we're starting to make a little bit of coin, which will go back into the coffers of Uncensored Radio and keep us plugging. But we are here until the tech lords shut us down. We'll see.
Yeah, we got to keep Vera in her ice sodas, guys.
Then we'll have to.
When the ice guys come and take me away.
We'll have to go pirate. We'll have to go like pirate radio and stuff or something after that. Go back to like ham radio.
They're gonna deport me to a country I've never been to.
Well, let's see how much follow through they have with anything, because it's been a rough week for the Trump administration. But we'll talk about that in just a second. Are we ready? We've got a lot to talk about today. Are we ready to get into it?
Sure. Does no one has really any updates in their life?
I almost died twice this week.
What?
Oh,
I had
Okay.
2 near-death experiences.
Well, you
weekend
can
at
go,
Vera's.
dude.
Let's go.
It wasn't the ice.
It's because of the snow and the ice. Yeah.
It was ice, but not the bad ice, but the black
Well,
ice.
it's been horrible here. It's like I am like so fucking nuts. I don't want to drive to work. Friday night we went to see Tina in Syracuse, and we were coming home on 695, and we were on the off ramp, and it goes around a curve and up a hill. And so I'm going around the curve, and as I go to straighten out to go up the hill, the car starts to fishtail, and I'm steering this way, and I'm steering that way, and I'm doing everything I was taught in driver's ed, and all of a sudden we're doing 360s.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
no.
I came inches away from a culvert with my car facing the wrong way. It took
Oh.
me an hour to get home from 20 minutes away from my house because I did not go faster than 25 for the rest of the way home.
Yeah, no.
And then
that's scary.
Sunday, we went to Albany to visit my nephew at law school because his birthday was last week. And the weather report said that there was a snowstorm coming to start after 7. So we left Albany at 4 o'clock. It's a 2.5-hour drive. We should have been home plenty of time to miss the snowstorm. According to that morning's weather, it started to snow at 20 after 5.
Uh-oh.
It took 2 hours to get the rest of the way home. I was driving like this.
Yeah.
My sister had had drinks. My brother-in-law had had drinks. I was the only sober one, and I kept taking big deep breaths. I can do this. Big deep breaths. I can do this. It was 2 lanes on the New York State Thruway, just 2 ruts, and every car was driving in this road, except for the 4-wheelers who were passing on the
by.
right. And they're flying by because they weigh 100,000 pounds, right?
Yeah.
And they're just kicking up all the snow, and you can't see the ruts you've been driving in. I swear to God, I have such PTSD. I don't know if I want to drive again until summer.
Well, I was going to say, Vera, from these stories, what I'm gathering is that either way, the ice is coming for you right now.
I'm going to have to share that with my friends.
One way or another, baby.
One way or another, ice is coming for me.
My brain is palpitating because, like, I've been in those situations, like, where you can't control the car and you're steering into the turn.
Yeah.
You know, and it
my
doesn't
God.
matter what you do. Like, I've cracked.
Yeah, I must have looked like an octopus. You know.
Yeah. Fuck, that's so scary. I would have driven 10 miles per hour too on the way home.
Now I think of it, I did have 4 white cars try and turn directly into me yesterday.
Wow.
4.
4 white guys or 4 white cars?
4 different white cars were trying to drive like I was driving and they would like pull out from a driveway or try like cross a line. I'm like, what did I do? What did I do?
Universe.
I don't know.
Universe. They're coming for you just like a tariff, baby.
A tariff.
Any log trucks anytime soon.
Yeah. No final destination for me, baby. All right. Well, while we're all still alive, we should probably jump into this week.
Hot load of hot topics.
That's beautifully segued us. Expensive week, maybe. Possibly. We don't know. Maybe. Yeah, it's not happening. It's kind of happening. It's not happening. It is happening. I don't know.
It's not happening at the moment.
We started out. It's definitely happening. We are.
It was like Sunday night. He was going to do it all. But he negotiated on Monday to get the same deal he had on Friday before, and now he thinks he won. Declare victory and retreat.
Circles through.
Well, hey, are eggs cheaper?
Eggs are not cheaper. Eggs are more expensive.
No. There we go.
I haven't even noticed yet.
You haven't? There's like $6 a dozen.
because I go to Costco, so I feel like I'm not really seeing a price influx
Not yet.
at
Not
my
yet.
Costco.
Well, I go to Costco too, but I can't buy eggs in bulk. I have enough trouble using 6 in a week.
Guys,
yeah,
I
no,
was going to say, or you just need to develop an egg allergy like me, where you can't actually have them. So if I buy eggs, like I'm throwing most of them out in the end because I probably use one for cooking or whatever,
Yeah.
like in a cake. But
No, my kid eats an egg every morning. Scrambled eggs. Or toast
I love eggs.
toast,
Poached eggs, one of my favorite things in the world. But I never get up on time to
cracked
make
black
myself a
pepper.
breakfast.
Mm.
But
The interesting thing was the response, because I think he expected everyone to roll over and take it, and Justin Trudeau's tight ass was like, "I may be on my way out, but fuck you, no more Coca-Cola for anyone."
The Canadians, I mean, I'm really close to the border. The Canadians are all over my TikTok. They are so pissed. They are boycotting American liquor. They are boycotting American soda. They are boycotting all American things. They are.
I love it.
Have
you been on TikTok and just seen the all of the Canadians crying, pouring out Diet Coke and listening to Jan Arden?
No, I haven't seen those.
And then she's like, I'm jumping on the train, and Jan Arden's sitting there with a bottle of Diet Coke, singing Mother to it. I'm like, look, it makes for interesting content. And then Mexico were just not having it either. She was pissed.
Oh, she was. She was absolutely pissed. And Trump doesn't like it when a woman gets the best of him.
No, so you know what? Impose tariffs? No, we'll just send troops to the border. Okay, cool.
You know what, though? He has no idea how many troops are at the border. So she negotiated with him that the troops would not exceed the number of troops that are already there. And he said, yeah, I got troops at the border. He has no fucking clue that there were already troops at the border. He thinks he did
well
that.
for Gaza, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, did you see the one clip of his, what is she?
The press secretary?
Not the press secretary, his chief of staff. And he just announced, we're going to build condos there. And she just, like you could see her soul leave her body.
Would you guys buy a condo in Gaza?
Not a chance. Well, first of all, we're not going to be able to afford them. They're going to be.
They won't be able to afford them. That's the point.
Yeah. Yeah. This going to be the ultra rich.
It's just been, it's been a week. I
feel
like
God.
It's gonna be the general tagline of the show for the rest of the next, however long. I was gonna say 4 years, but who knows?
It's gonna be a long 4 years.
It's gonna be a long.
But it's been hectic, really, hasn't it? I mean, I know the media loves Trump, and both sides of the media love Trump.
Dude, there's no both sides. There's only pro-Trump. The mainstream media is all in for Trump. You can't.
Oh, no. Even our conservative media here right now, with all of the Gaza
not
stuff
here in the States. Every single
us now.
No, every single major news organization in this country is pro-Trump.
But I think it's funny. Okay, I don't like to draw parallels to World War II, but it's very reminiscent to me that the initial, the Nazi Party, okay, and I'm not correlating the Republican Party with the Nazi Party, I'm not, but it was kind of they started with their targeting of trans people. Germany, back in early 1900s, actually had gender-affirming stuff already rolling out. So there was a backlash against that, and that's who the party started on, and everyone was okay with it. And I'm seeing it again right now. Everyone's completely okay with it, cheering it on. Then when this craze is ramping really fast. But go into any comment section on any social media platform, and there's a lot of awful stuff.
There's a lot of hate and chaos. That's what I told you guys last week.
But then it was when the crazy started to ramp up, and they started to come for my neighbor and all the different people that they didn't think, well, they won't be targeted, but it's escalated. Like this seems to be escalating really quickly. Like, oh yeah, sure, we're just going to march into countries now, take them over.
We did have this conversation last week, and we had we were very lucky. Vera and I had our guest host, Renata Daniel of the Ghost Grannies, Renata, and she has a very unique, point of view on it, with both of her parents being concentration camp survivors and stuff like that. And our conversation last week just happened to be on the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, and that's where her parents were, and
it
all
was
that kind of stuff.
So moving. I've actually told her story several times this week.
If you didn't catch the end of last week's episode, go back and watch it. And you can watch it on YouTube and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. But it's very poignant that, it's all happening. I think that when Germany is likening the new president to Hitler, there's a little bit of a discourse that needs to happen. But, enough about that, because we're going to be talking about him for the next 4 years. Let's talk about, perhaps direct repercussions, because you can't keep planes in the sky anymore for some reason.
For some reason. I don't know.
This was absolutely fucking horrifying, the footage of this.
Okay, so what is this? Can you explain? So people are listening.
Is the Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Do you want me to tell?
You can go there, yep.
Philadelphia, there was a private plane with the medevac plane. It contained a child who was recently received a life-saving therapy, his mother, several medical personnel, and the pilot. There was 6 people on board. And for no apparent reason that they know of yet, I don't believe the NTSB has investigated as much as the other crash last week was investigated. The plane just seemed to dive out of the sky, and it landed in metropolitan Philadelphia, in a residential neighborhood. There's all sorts of police cam footage. There's car dash footage. There's ring camera footage. There's enough footage of the plane, just you could see the plane traveling and just going down, and then the fireball.
It dropped at 11,000 feet per minute. That's how fast it was going.
And it exploded. It was like a mushroom cloud. Hello.
That's some kind of massive technical failure. That's
catastrophic. And they
craziness.
haven't released any cause at this point.
But,
that's incredibly sad, though. Like,
it is incredibly
sad. The story of the passengers already, like they've already gone through so much, and then that's how it ends. Like, wow.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it just makes me want to cry. But we're not going to do that.
Okay.
Not until we get some titles for Christina
once a year, Christina. Once a year.
No, but just as a mother, just you're on your way home, where were they going? They were so close, we were so close, and it's just,
But it's coming down to stupid shit. Like now, there's planes backing into each other, not even in the air yet. Like it's like, and then we're okay, fine. We want to, deregulate all of that kind and get rid of DEI's hires and all that kind of stuff, but the CIA buyouts and stuff, what are you doing?
6,000 members of the FBI, the CIA, 2 million members of the federal government throughout all branches.
What is the stats? What are these?
2 million employees of the federal government in all branches were received letters in the first week of the Trump administration saying, resign now or risk termination. If you resign now, we will pay you through such and such date. I don't know what the date was.
Are these people that were employed, they're saying, under diversity and equity? Or
no, not the 2 million people.
Okay.
2 million people is totally random. They're male, female, white, black.
It's not random. Let's be honest. They're clearing house.
They're clearing house.
To get rid of people that may pose a problem.
Part of Project 2025, and I know I'm one of 15 people in the country who read it, was intentionally to fire all civil service employees of the government and then refill all those jobs with Trump loyalists, people who would swear an oath to Trump and all the other, because, in his first term in office, whenever he did something illegal, there was somebody to blow a whistle. There was something that was leaked to the press. He's doing this and he can't do this. And now he doesn't care. I mean, his mass firing is illegal. It violates union agreements. It violates union contracts. It violates civil service laws. His firing at the FBI is illegal. The president is not supposed to have any say over the FBI. It is supposed to function as an independent, nonpartisan organization. The obliteration of the CIA can't happen without Congress, but yet it's happening. I mean, and the fact that he gave all of our financial information to Elon Musk and his herd of teenage mutants. I can't get over this. All of our financial information. Yeah. This is why Congress shut down TikTok, because they didn't want anybody 100%. Else to have all of our private financial 100%. Information, social security cards. And now Elon Musk has it all. And he's,
Yeah, don't give it to China, but give it to the guy whose country has, dispatriated him. He's no longer welcome.
Yeah, he's not welcome in South Africa.
They've sold his properties. They've done that, but
his children have disowned him. Nobody wants him, but here he is.
Do you think that's one of the reasons then that there was tariffs now imposed on South Africa as well?
Probably, yeah. But nobody in our mainstream media has announced that there were tariffs imposed on South Africa. That's whole new information to me.
No, Trump has. I've actually seen clips of him saying that, he's imposing tariffs on South Africa.
That hasn't
due
made
to the
news
terrible
in this
things
country.
their government are doing.
Terrible things.
And y'all know that I'm a news junkie. It has not made the news here. It's scary ass times, kids.
Well, it's kind of funny, even our really conservative-leaning politicians, like Pauline Hanson, Steve. So she is the leader of a party called One Nation Party, and she holds a Senate seat, which means
somehow.
But even she has sort of just said the things he said about moving into Gaza and stuff. She's even said that's the bridge too far.
Elon Musk gave
he lost Pauline
in Germany to the AfD, which is the new version of the Nazi Party in Germany. They're small but mighty. What can I say? That he told them that we need to stop being embarrassed by the actions of our grandfather and move forward and succeed where they had failed.
Wow. Millennial pause.
Yeah. Millennial pause.
Millennial internal screaming, it should be called.
Jen Jones heart attack. Clutching my fucking pearls.
Dutton loves Trump and Australia. That's why you cannot vote for this man. That and the fact that he took Aboriginal children out into the bush when he was a police officer and told them to strip naked so they were native.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so don't vote for Peter Dutton. Otherwise, we're going to end up in the same fucking problem. But
anyway, do we have a nice news story, Steve? Quick. No, bring up a dead celebrity. Quick, bring a dead celebrity.
There's nothing
nice about Britney. Talk about Britney.
Isn't it funny? You're all calling for Britney now, but we will talk about
Britney.
We'll talk about the Grammys because there was.
I didn't want to talk about Beyonce though. That fucking.
No, we're not going to talk about Beyonce. We're going to talk about these two first.
Beyonce's new Britney.
Right, Sensory. What is her name?
Kanye West and Bianca Censori, Kim Kardashian Mark II.
Yeah,
showed up uninvited on the red carpet and nude.
I know.
Looks like she's wearing my breastplate.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
They are more modest photos. The internet has kind of been scrubbed of the fully uncensored ones. the
Yes.
way
Did
I
she
don't know.
have pasties
Did
on,
you guys
like,
see?
originally?
They say
Did you
she
guys see
didn't.
any
I
of
don't
it?
know. I didn't. We didn't. Everything I saw was
Right.
pixelated.
So
That's
she
the
originally came with a big like furry jacket
furry.
on.
I saw the fur coat.
and
I saw
he's
her
like-
take it off.
He's like leering at her and going, take it off, like and like
No,
having a
so
go at her on the
I
Strip
saw a
bitch,
video where
like those
like
kids.
they had like the deaf like interpreter or whatever, or like
lip
read
reader.
lips,
Yep.
and he had said like, let's do it. Now's the time. Like let's show them. Like it was like let's show them, or let's make a show. I think it was like
Yeah.
something like that. And she goes, all right, let's do it. Let's do this. And she goes, and he goes, turn around and drop it from the back. And she goes, and that's when she turned around and she goes, and that's when she like revealed her ass and then turned around and revealed that she was completely naked. Like, what self-respecting woman would do that? I don't care who you're married to. It
Right.
doesn't matter. Like, this
I'd
is
say
not.
that's going full ham now that we have the definition of that in our minds.
Full ham crazy.
100%.
Well,
Yes. So
she
ham
did not
means
look.
hard as a mother. Hard as a mother. That's what ham means. HAM. Yeah, hard as a mother.
Oh, hard as a mother. All right,
So,
that makes more sense
Now,
to me than a cut of
the thing-
meat.
ham.
there's a lot of discourse about her being a victim in this relationship. And,
Well, that's what I was going to say. If she doesn't look, she looks terrified. She does not look
Yeah.
happy about it. She looks like
I'm really
you're
sorry.
sure, you know.
They are legally married. Yes, correct. That doesn't mean she has to agree with everything. Like, he is a not. Speaking of Brittany, he is a not well man that
Right.
we keep enabling. And at this point, she's not only enabling; she's rubber stamping it and going, "It's appropriate to do this. It's appropriate to have this kind of relationship and to put this kind of relationship into worldwide press."
Did I
Yeah.
read correctly? They were like asked to leave or something.
Well,
Yes.
they broke morals guidelines and stuff like that. They were talking about getting them arrested, but
Well, do you remember when Janet Jackson had her wardrobe malfunction and she was
Lips were-
fined
Yeah.
some like $50,000?
yeah.
Mm.
Heaven
think
forbid
more.
America sees a big black titty.
It was a huge fine. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah,
can't say
and-
this is a malfunction because there ain't no
Affected-
wardrobe to
No, this-
malfunction in.
Like, and the Janet Jackson thing is a huge controversy. It
Right.
Stalled her career for many, many, many
Yep.
years, and it was all label politics and stuff behind the scenes, and people refusing to, because she had a $500 million album contract. She had she was. I think people forget
And
because
she took all the backlash, and
90s.
Justin did
Yeah.
not.
Look, karma sometimes takes its time, but this is going to ruin the world tour. It's my favorite quote of last year. I'm like,
It's gonna ruin the world tour.
it's like, oh, this is going to ruin the world tour, man.
But like you said, like just to stand up as like a married couple, like, and just to show that this isn't right. Like, this isn't how you treat your wife. This isn't how you would go out as a woman. Like this, I mean, I get it if you got it, flaunt it, but bitch, what were you doing? Like,
What is
what?
the statement?
But they had to know that they wouldn't be able to walk in front of the cameras that way. That's why she was wearing the big ass coat.
Oh yeah, of course. It
You
was
know,
for
they
all
knew they
the-
were doing something wrong.
And I don't know if any of you follow Yeezy, because his name is Yeezy, on
And he's
Instagram.
unfollowed everyone except for Taylor Swift now.
Well, his name is just Yee on Instagram, and every day now he puts that his wife is the most Googled person on earth over the over the Grammys or over something else. There was something.
Well, yeah.
But not
it's the
for-
most Googled person. My wife is the most Googled person. My wife is the most
Not for
Googled
anything
person.
related to talent.
Yes.
Not for anything
Right,
related
exactly.
to music.
It's-
not for
If you
anything.
wanted her,
It's
to
more
make a
about-
fucking bitch on a fucking
It's-
runway. Like,
It's about her hoo-hoo. It's not about her.
yeah, like,
It's not a
about
reflection of
her.
talent.
Right. No.
And
Why
it's
didn't
because
she just wear a meat dress or something? Like, isn't that
think
what
she
people
would-
used to do
but-
for attention?
You think she
Right.
would be smarter
Smart,
because he's obviously like doing this weird grooming fucking thing
Yeah.
to turn her into the proxy Kim. Like,
Yeah.
it's disturbing. Like,
He used to dress Kim. Okay,
Yeah.
again, I don't know if you watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians. He was a huge part of her style. Like, he helped her become like the style icon, right? Like, he would always dress her. She would always look to him. Does this look good? Should this go with it? She always said,
But isn't he the one that put her in the couch dress?
couch dress?
That big floral print that made her look like Granny's sofa?
I think so. But again, she's pregnant, so I don't know. And I
Well,
think
at
it was
least he was putting her in clothes. Like, this chick's not even getting that.
I know, right? Excellent point.
And like again, but
it's
now you see this and you see the way this girl looks and you see she is scared. Like, and I don't know if it's because obviously she's going to be naked on a red carpet in front of all these photographers, or if it's because she knows what she's about to do. And it's like, and if she doesn't do it, this man is what going to think less of her? Who gives a shit?
Right.
Who the fuck is
and she's
like,
not a
but
but the thing is, she's not a sociopath. She's having a reaction. If she was a, most celebrities want that attention. Most celebrities would, live in that spotlight. They wouldn't look terrified.
Right.
They have
She
the
knows
attention
this
to
is
make a
gone,
statement.
and she knows this was too controversial too. Like,
Yeah.
even
And it's a little on the nose for me. It's a little on the nose that it's a nude illusion dress, kind of like the Marilyn one that Kim's fat ass destroyed.
Right.
Like, it's like,
does she have a mom? Like, does she have a
Yeah.
like,
Doesn't she have a best friend?
she doesn't
Yeah.
have common sense. So who knows?
You just want to grab her and say, "You in danger, girl."
right?
Whoopi, call her.
Yeah, Whoopi.
No, I don't think Whoopi's gonna help her. Whoopi's not a fan of Kanye, so I don't think that's gonna help. Well, sorry, we have to talk about it.
Okay.
Upset at the Grammys. Beyonce's Cowboy Carter controversially. Well, I kind of expected it to win Country Album of the Year, considering the CMAs would not award it anything. I was like, if it's going to win any country award, it's going to be at the Grammys. But Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter.
It is a good album.
Christina looks like she's got feelings. I think let her go.
Yeah,
let her out. Let her out.
It's just rage. It's not even feelings. It's just anger. It's just anger because, again, like Steve just said, if the CMAs, if the Country Music Awards didn't give this bitch one fucking thing, why does she deserve an Emmy? Why would she be getting the best country album over, again, like, I feel like, okay, let's go back to the breakdancer, okay, who hasn't been breakdancing very long, right? But she entered the Olympics, and now all these other breakdancers.
Yeah, that imbecile.
She was not a breakdancer.
Let's say she's fucking hot, right? But let's say this bitch won that fucking medal, all right? That gold. And all these other fucking Olympians are like, listen, I've been doing this for my whole goddamn life, and this bitch who's been doing this for like a month, this country singing for a month, came in and stepped in and was like, oh, now I'm here. I won the fucking Emmy for this. That poor woman who was sitting in the stage, I don't even know who that country singer is. She's got a very annoying country singing voice. She sang on the stage. I can't stand country music. I like some country music, but that. Oh, I don't like that. No, my God, I can't. No. To go with the really long hair.
She was raised in Houston. She was raised on country music.
Yeah. Yeah, look,
she grew up on country music.
Like, that's
fine.
People. Yeah, that's great. But that's not her genre. And I understand that her speech even said, like, don't stick me in a genre, whatever she said about genres. But, like, listen, bitch, stay in your lane. Like, I just feel like this was.
I got to disagree with you here, Christina.
Do we feel, though, what was the award awarded because of, like, political stuff? And
I think she was.
Last year, Jay-Z won his award and famously said Beyonce is the most nominated Grammy artist in history, but she's never won Album of the Year.
Yeah.
Right.
And she
Was
has
this the
deserved to.
album?
When Lemonade came out, I think she deserved to win over Adele. I think she deserved it for that album. For this album, which has not only sold and streamed shit tons less than every other album in the category,
Mhm.
but it smells of payola to me. Like, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go payola. I am going to, with the Oscars, with the Grammys, with the Emmys, there's like this residual guilt thing that happens when they overlook someone who should have gotten in the past. Like Whoopi Goldberg, speaking of, she really should have won the Oscar for The Color Purple.
Color Purple.
That was a brilliant performance. It was an amazing movie. It was stunning and epic, and she should have won. And I don't remember who she lost it to, but she did not get it. But then 4 years later, what does she get the Oscar for?
Ghost.
The Patrick Swayze movie.
Ghost. You in danger, girl.
You in danger, girl. Yes. And that, although a lovely performance, was not.
But it wasn't Oscar. It was great.
It
was
was
a great film,
but didn't come close to the
Steely.
magnificence of her performance in The Color Purple.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. But then who missed out this year? Who probably deserved it? And that guilt will build because remember when we shafted Beyonce all those years back? Quick, throw her a bone.
I just think that
I don't know
judging
who
on
should have one.
Cultural impact. Like, let's talk. So, Album of the Year is generally something that has shaped the music landscape for that year. Billie Eilish was in there. Sabrina Carpenter was in there. Charlie XCX. These are those three girls had huge albums, huge long campaigns, and they're in the multi-million streams. Beyonce's album has like 1 million, and that's
I
it.
really do think Billie Eilish was overlooked. Yes, I agree.
Yes.
Billie Eilish has had that moment in the sun too. When she was 18, she won like 5 Grammys. It's like, okay, cool. I get that they feel the need to share it around, but it should be.
South Park wrote her in as a recurring character, played by one of the dads.
But good segue about awards ceremonies, because we like to always go, okay, fairness and all that kind of stuff. A little bit of drama for Amelia Perez.
Explain to me who Amelia Perez is, because I feel like I sort of know, but
Amelia
not well
Perez
enough.
is the movie. Amelia Perez is the movie.
Well, then who is this actress? Because I've heard of her.
Sophia Gascon. Sophia Gascon is a trans actress who plays the lead in Amelia Perez. And the world was in love, it was going to be a groundbreaking Emmys and and Oscars and all that kind of thing, until a journalist by the name of Sarah Hagee uncovered past social media posts by Carla that were seen in the eyes of many as racist and Islamophobic. Now,
how old were they?
Old, but still, this is not the point.
Well, I do feel that sometimes we take this too far. That if you tweeted something when you were 18 and then you get nominated for an award when you're 38,
But doesn't that go
you have to be allowed to grow up. You have to be allowed to evolve.
We always say that words have power, right?
Yeah.
And we have to be responsible for the words that we put out there. She's apologized, but these words are out there. They're out there, and we're in an age where if you're going to sign on to a Hollywood major motion picture, then you should be smart enough to scrub your social media before you do it. Because obviously, that still being there is indicative of your attitudes not changing.
But how often do you go back and look at what you wrote?
Exactly.
I get memories. We get memories all the time. I go, oh my god, that's so embarrassing. But if I know, because I haven't said anything Islamophobic,
right?
I haven't. Yeah, I know, but
But what
I'm
did she
not
say?
stupid enough to put hate speech on the internet and think that I'm going to get away with it.
Well,
like 19 years down the track.
I do
Whatever it
believe
is.
that people have
Right.
room to evolve. You can grow up, you can change your opinion. But I
Well,
really don't
no.
think Amelia Perez was that good a movie.
And it doesn't matter because Netflix have totally distanced themselves from her completely. So they are no longer footing the bill for her travel expenses, any kind of marketing dinners, etc. They're not going to cover the cost of any styling. She was due to attend the Critics' Choice Awards, Directors Guild of America Awards, and Santa Barbara International Film Festival, all of which they've pulled their funding from. Now she won't be appearing at any of them at all. They've also stopped communicating with the star and only speak to her via their PR company. And in addition to that, they're cutting off communication with the For Your Consideration board for the Oscars. So she has been pulled from all advertising for the Oscars, for any consideration for the awards. They are now
Okay, has
focusing
she
on the rest of the
responded
cast.
to this stuff?
Yes,
Has she?
she's made an apology, but the reaction from social media and the people has left a bad taste in people's mouths.
What the fuck did she say?
I have no idea.
I'm not gonna. It's apparently not great stuff. I don't want to.
I need to know.
You can Google it. It's out there.
Okay.
But everyone's like, oh, like this would have been such a great moment for trans people, and it would have.
It would have.
You know, look at Caitlyn Jenner.
No.
The end.
Sorry, I gotta tell you.
Sorry. Under Trump's America, Bruce.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of my favorite clapbacks in the whole world was Caitlyn Jenner tweeted out on Inauguration Day, the day that he dropped the 300 executive orders saying that everybody would be known by their gender from birth, blah blah blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
And she dropped this big congratulations, President Trump. Love you.
God bless President Trump making America great again. And then someone commented like,
and Olivia
he's the man who wants you to be known as Bruce.
Olivia Juliana, one of my favorite young TikTok stars, tweeted back, he wants you to be called Bruce. or something. It's like, he does.
Do you think Caitlyn had that tweet loaded just to drop during inauguration and was probably doing something else? Yeah.
Didn't he already transition? Didn't she already fully transition?
No, but the law that
the executive order. It is not a law. It is an executive order.
Yes, is that you are known
it can be
as your
undone very
gender from
easily
birth.
if Trump is no longer in office. It's an executive order, but it did say that all citizens are to be identified by the gender assigned at conception.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because that's a very ignorant.
Caitlyn's female.
Technically, she's Caitlyn then.
she is. Well, everyone's female.
Everyone's
because
Caitlyn.
Every zygote is female at conception.
I don't want to be Caitlyn.
You know, and it's like whoever wrote that executive order has no knowledge of biology.
Speaking of horrible moments in trans history, Caitlyn Jenner, full stop.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we get a little bit serious? Now, this is probably not going to float your boats.
We haven't been
your
serious.
Boats very much. This has made the news quite prolifically in Australia because of the person involved. This is a picture of Kate Ritchie. Now, Kate Ritchie is a radio host, but first and foremost, she was a TV actress.
And she was here in Australia.
TV soap. She was on arguably Australia's biggest soap, Home and Away, and she was a child star.
And wasn't she like one of the longest ever actresses on any show? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Kate has had issues in her marriage and with her mental health, and earlier this week, she was pictured in a park after going to a liquor store before picking up her child from school, leaving the child in an idling car, crying and rocking in a park. She got up or stumbled. She tried to get up, fell over and got back up again, got into the car and drove away. all under the watchful eye of somebody with a phone. Now, there's been a lot of controversy around this about responsibility for, letting
The
her
child?
drive away and, the
Right.
fact that her child was in the car at this point. Kate has...
More important to get the footage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kate has released a statement. I'll read her statement. She said, I struggle with mental health issues at times which are deeply personal. This has proven to be a bigger challenge than I imagined. So I've decided to take a break from the show and the team who I love to focus on my health. I want to thank all of you who are helping me through this very difficult time. I love you. Thank you, Nev, for being there when I need you. This is also a problem that many others are struggling with. They know what it's like. The images of me taken last week show that I was not okay on that day. My struggle is not helped by the relentless stalking of me by the paparazzi. In fact, they are making it much worse. Due to their constant harassment, they significantly add pressure and make my recovery that much more difficult. To those profiting from invading my privacy, a simple question. Would you treat your sister, mother, or daughter the same if they had similar challenges? Please reconsider and stop and think about the harm you're inflicting and give me the space and privacy I need. Thank you to my wonderful family, all the Nova listeners, and many others who are sending their love and support. I appreciate it more than you can imagine. Thank you, Kate.
Well, yeah. Oh, look, that's probably the only response that she could have, because I'd say she was asked to sort of step away for a while too, because the company
day after
Nova,
this
the radio
happened,
show, said they were going to her house for crisis talks or something. Or,
Yeah.
If
so
she did that in New York, if she was caught driving under the influence in New York State with a child in the car, it's mandatory prison sentence.
Yeah.
Well, see, there's no evidence that she was drinking, but she was pictured at the liquor store. She then picked up her child from school, and then the park incident happened.
Yeah, look, it's speculative as well, but like it's just not cool. Like I just.
But is it the public's responsibility to step in at that point?
Yeah.
It was
I
the
would
person
think so.
filming, absolutely.
Yeah.
You see
If
your
you
mom
suspect
stumbling.
she's been drinking, and she's
Oh,
she's
yeah.
about to get in the
You know,
car with a child,
Put that camera down and go over and go, hey, mate, are you okay? Do you need me to drive you guys home?
right?
Luke, when you're at the park with Buffy, you go to the park. You've been to the park, yes?
I got one across the road.
Okay.
Walking
It's
distance.
it's not ever packed, right?
Yeah.
When you're there, it's not like there's 75 people there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you think about it, maybe when I go to the parks by me, I mean, there's a bunch of parks around, and no matter which one I pick, tops, there's maybe 10 people, maybe maximum 10 people there at a time. Okay.
As is normally empty. Yeah.
Right. If it's a beautiful day, I'd say, again, maybe 10, right? But parent to kid ratio, you have your eyes open. If you see somebody and a car idling and a woman in the field with no kid and she's stumbling around, you don't think that somebody's going to walk over and be like, hey, are you okay? Like, why would anybody just stop and be like, oh, look at this woman. You see this woman? You
I've
see this
got
woman?
the answer.
Stumbling?
I've
You
got
see
the
this?
answer. Because people are cunts, and then they like to get on comment sections and fucking be all self-righteous, like, I would never do that, and rah, rah. But it's like, you know what? I'm sure this lady would never do that either if she was fucking okay. Like, she's not doing it because she's an awful bitch. She's doing it because she's fucked up. And I think that person filming her knew exactly what they were doing, and that was the cherry on top, was her driving off likely drunk with her kid in the car, because that's going to make them more money with fucking the story.
Yeah, and oh my god, it's so-and-so, Katie so-and-so from so-and-so show. Like,
they
oh my
probably
god,
would have loved it had she hit a tree as she drove off and the car exploded.
Yeah. I know.
This is the kind of society we've created. It always takes a village, and you know what? That little kid deserved better from the adults watching on. The adults watching on who were of sound mind.
Because I know, like, if you're in a park and you see something like that, nothing would stop me. I'm again, maybe it's just a New Yorker in me or the cunt in me that would be like, hey, like, or just like
All
again,
that
the no
charisma and uniqueness, nerve, and talent inside of you.
To be like,
I
hey,
had a
listen,
patient.
like, do you see this person? Like, does anybody else see this woman? Like, does anybody else see this lady? Like,
I
I
had a
mean,
patient I wouldn't let leave because she was obviously drunk. I made her call her husband and come pick her up.
it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Actually, I remember one time we were at a pumpkin patch and this woman could not find her kid and she was screaming his name. And I didn't even have kids at the time. And I started looking around and I go, is nobody going to help this woman? Like, because I couldn't see anybody else moving their head around with me, like, besides this woman running around screaming her son's name. And I was looking and I'm like, and I wanted to be like this. And in my head, I'm like, what is he wearing? Like, that's what I would kept it because I worked at Babies R Us. So we had like our whole like code pink or whatever the fuck system.
Right.
And it was like, okay, like, what are we looking for? And she found him. Everything was fine, but nobody else. And again, I was like,
Bystander effect, mate.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, nobody's helping this lady. Like, she's losing her fucking mind. Like, and nobody's helping her. Like, and again, she like darted to the exit. So I didn't know what happened after that, but I know that she calmed down and I saw her walking with him later on. But again, it's just, step in. What are we doing? You can take out your phone and help at the same time. Like, it's not a problem. You can record yourself being a good fucking human being. Like,
Right.
that's not a problem. I don't know.
Yeah, asshole paparazzi. You could have made a celebrity of yourself. Guy who saved Kate Ritchie's child.
Yeah. What the fuck?
You know?
I don't know. It's aggravating.
Yeah, it's definitely a problem. The response is very like, yeah. A lot of people are, pro stepping in, but they're also the ones commenting on the story. Like, I don't know. It makes it very hard to have a moral high ground when you've clicked on it to read it too.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
you saw the title.
And Steve.
But
we reshared it.
But this is we're talking about pop culture. This is what's happening in pop culture.
I know. This is the nature of the beast.
Some chick next door having a mentee bee, I wouldn't be like, look at this unfortunate bitch. Like, she's a celebrity. Like, and, we've had this conversation a lot too. You don't get to pick and choose the sides of celebrity that suit you. And this is the horrible side of celebrity, that you don't get that privacy. And people will.
But hopefully her recovery is private, though. Like,
You would hope so. But also I've said this, I remember we had this conversation again with Princess Kate and the cancer diagnosis, etc., etc. When people like this, with this kind of public platform, majority of Australia loves Kate Ritchie. Yeah, she's like, Australia's little girl.
Grew up with her. We're all little kids with her.
When someone with that kind of gravitas goes, I have a mental health issue, this is it, this is what I'm doing, this is how I recognize it, people listen. And it affects other people's lives in a positive way because they go, I'm not the only one that's suffering through this. We know that this kind of stuff goes on in houses across the world every day. That's the upside of the downside is that you can weaponize the horrible things that happen to you by trying to help make change. And I hope, like, she's made her statement, and when she's ready, I hope that she can speak about it and go, this was a horrible time, but this is what led to it, and the media's response didn't help me at all. This is what helped me.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, that's what I hope. Like, but celebrity gossip is cannibalistic. They will eat their own at the drop of a hat. We've talked about it all day today. Kanye West, etc. Beyonce, laughing, cha cha cha. I'm done blowing up.
Yeah.
There are some high pressure situations that need to occur, apparently, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Luke?
Oh, is this my segment now?
We're running. We are at the.
I was waiting to talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but sure,
I'm going to talk about it at the end of the show, just as a palate cleanser. I'm going to save it at the end.
All right, so play my titles first, and then I'm going to all take you on a small journey before Steve hits up what we're actually talking about.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Luke's new segment.
Would you rather?
All right, viewers and fellow panelists, we're going back to simpler times. You've just received a ticket to go on a once-in-a-lifetime journey, but choose your destiny, because one is going to be a grandiose trip up in the skies, and the other will be a maiden voyage across the ocean. Yes, today's Would You Rather. Would you rather take your chances accepting a ticket on the Titanic, or going up in the brilliant and beautiful Zeppelin that flew over Jersey in 1937?
The Hindenburg.
The Hindenburg. So I know that. And it's always known as the Hindenburg disaster, pictured right here, mid-disaster. So look, let's compare scenarios before I get your opinions. Anyone who's still watching, we've actually got some watchers today, so sound off and comment,
We've got
guys.
an angry reaction.
We've got an angry face, but that was about Kate Ritchie. Anyway.
Oh,
so
it's my
Titanic
mum.
first.
My mum's not happy about Kate Ritchie.
Listen to me. 1912, so obviously the Titanic was going on its maiden voyage, leaving from England, traveling to New York. So it struck an iceberg, obviously, on its journey due to some kind of human error. You know, captain was pissed, asleep, whatever. So 1,500 of the 2,246 people on board had died at sea. Now, the Hindenburg, much smaller body count, but I think the survival ratios sort of measure up. So we had... it exploded due to like some static electricity. There was actually a hydrogen leak, so it used hydrogen gas to, float above the world in that lovely, big, beautiful. It would have had bars in it. There would have been lots happening. They only had on there 97 passengers, which 35 of them died. But as the Hindenburg came down, it also took out one of the ground crew. So it was a total of 36 fatalities. So given the choice, you're getting your ticket. Which trip are you taking, kids? You flying high or going low?
Titanic.
Steve, you doing the Titanic, V?
I'm doing the Titanic. I would rather drown than burn to death.
No, I couldn't do it.
Okay, what are you doing, Steve? You're the Hindenburg,
I'm doing
babes.
the Hindenburg just because the survival rate was a bit higher.
Do you think when it measures up?
No, I think it was half. Well,
35 out of 90 something.
Well, Vera's probably using a noggin here. She is a woman. She may have got on a lifeboat.
Well, this is my question. It depends.
But Vera, are you a wealthy woman?
Depends on what class my ticket was and am I male? Because if I'm me, I'm not going on the Titanic. I wouldn't have made it off, and I can think of nothing.
Bitch, we would have been working.
I'm assuming that I die. Okay, yeah. I'm assuming that I'm in the mortality, and I would rather drown than burn.
I don't think they
burning. Immolation is a horrible, painful, awful way to die.
Would they not have died from smoke inhalation or the crash first?
Hydrogen went up like that. It was pretty fast. It was gone in seconds. Yeah. I think it would have been an immolation. I don't think there would have been. The smoke would have gone up. They were on the bottom. I think they'd have burned.
Quicker, maybe?
Yeah, like was it a slow descent?
The only thing I think of is the survivor testimonies that I've seen from Titanic sound absolutely terrifying. Like, I think of nothing worse than being in the dark in the middle of the ocean, freezing, knowing that there's no one around to come and help you. That prolonged fucking terror, and then watching it all happen, that would do me in more than just going, Oh, I'm done.
I'm assuming I die. I would rather
Yeah.
drown than burn.
I don't think I couldn't do the Titanic stuff. That's what makes, I think, when I watch the movie, I get so engrossed in that movie that I'm like, oh my god. Even when they're holding their breath, I'm like, no, I'd be dead. Like, just put yourself in that situation of, you know, that there's no one nearby, there's no lifeboats, there's no nothing. Like, that would be terrifying. I don't want that fear. I want, oh my god, I'm done. I don't know. Christina, you?
I don't know because, okay, like you said, it really depends on how fast you die. Like, but I do have to go with Vera because I would rather die on the Titanic. Thank you, Celtic, because I would say that hypothermia is the better, easier way to die, right? If I'm dying in the water in the cold, if I'm out of the boat, right? Say I get out, right, and I'm one of those people floating in the water in the dark, right? I would rather want to die peacefully on the back of a door, you know, or
Right.
looking up into the night sky and just fall asleep
How
and
many
die.
people died like that? How many people? Like,
Death and fire.
Let's look at. Remember the movie when they were locked below deck? You know, some of these
Yeah,
people
no,
didn't
I
die from
wouldn't
drowning.
be,
Some of
I
these
wouldn't be
people,
the
like,
old couple in the fucking bed hugging each other to say goodbye. No, fuck that shit. I'm getting the fuck out.
some people fell to their death. Shit exploded. Like, not everyone drowned.
Yeah,
Like,
hit the right.
So what did you
of
choose,
Titanic.
Christina? Because I did
chose
drop
the
out then.
Titanic.
You chose
I
the
chose
Titanic.
because I said hypothermia is just the easier way to go. You
But
know,
you wouldn't have. You would have been locked down there, like with your kids as the water's rising. Ew.
No. I would not have been in the. No, I wouldn't.
I don't think you get the choice whether you steerage or not.
I would have run upstairs. You know, I would have made my way. I'm a fighter.
Got the girls out. You would have got the girls out.
I would have sucked as many dicks as possible to get on one of the lifeboats too. I mean, come on, really think about it. Like, what are we doing here? You know, like I gotta get on a lifeboat. Let's go in the captain quarters. You know, I got 2 kids. Fuck the husband. Let's go. You know, like. Yeah, that's what I would say. But
look,
again,
this one was an easy one for me. I actually weighed up the pros and cons. Look, I'm terrified of the ocean, of drowning, and I am terrified of sharks. And probably being really cold's not nice either. I am also terrified of heights, but you know what? I'm not going to spend as long up there once it's exploded. It's going to be over pretty quick. I'm either going to be unconscious from smoke inhalation or boom, boom, and falling real fast. So even if I was on fire, boom, in the ground. Even the fall would put out some of the flames.
I kind of think the Hindenburg people were like, do you smell good? That's it.
Did you hear something?
The fire was above them. The actual cargo, the passenger part of the Hindenburg was below it. So the fire fell on them.
You would have smelt it first, right? Like, can you smell?
What did they die from? The descent? Like, did they die from the
died
descent?
from multiple causes. So some died from impact. One died from the Hindenburg falling on them.
That's right.
That's just shit luck. That's just shit luck.
He was ground crew. No, he was there for a reason, and he
doing his
motherfucker. Yeah,
what a hero.
Look,
Batman,
you know
Batman probably saved people. You know?
He's no fucking survival instincts. He didn't run when he saw the big fucking thing coming out of the sky.
I'd say it happened pretty quick.
It did happen.
Oh, the humanity! Oh.
Nothing left of you, you know.
And Celtic did say they chose Titanic.
Yes,
Titanic.
The ladies want to go down with the ship. The boys are happy to blow up.
Yeah, I don't want to drown.
That's it. Like, there's no remains. So, like, how did anybody know you were even up there?
You were
You know,
because you were exclusive tickets, babes. Only 97 on board. And how many of them were crew? There was like nearly half of them were crew on the Hindenburg. Yeah. So like they were a very exclusive passenger list there.
While things are heated, it's time She's going to expel her.
I love that. That was a great would you rather. Very first would you rather.
Okay, keep Stevie because it's time for Vera.
Are you going up like the Hindenburg today, V?
I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe more Shinobi. 3, 2, 1, vent!
Well, today's vent was inspired by the firing of the commandant of the Coast Guard. She was fired the night of inauguration, and the Department of Homeland Security says she was fired because of her leadership. And today, she was given 60 days to vacate her commandant housing at the Coast Guard base. And today, she was locked out of her house and told she had 3 hours to get her stuff, and that anything else, and they were going to go in and photograph her possessions after she left. Now, I got to tell you, this smacks of a frame-up. But the rationale that the Department of Homeland Security gave for firing her was questionable leadership. And today, in their statement, the questionable practice was her retention and recruitment. She has only been commandant for 3 years, but she's been an admiral since 2017. She has excelled the 2024 retention and recruitment of Coast Guard personnel has exceeded all expectations and goals under her watch. And the problem is that she recruited too many women and too many people of color. It was her DEI practices which made them question her leadership. And this is this administration's bugaboo word. And every Republican administration has had a boogeyman. You know, it was Bush had the sanctity of marriage. The first Trump administration had critical race theory. And DEI is the ultimate sin. And every single time they bring it up, they pretend that diversity, equity, and inclusion means inferiority. And they will say it. This happened because of DEI, because they hired somebody who couldn't do the job. This happened because DEI, because they hire inferior minds, inferior psychological characteristics, inferior people, you know, questionable people. Well, as I was writing this and getting hot for Admiral Flynn, not Flynn, I can't remember her name, beginning with an F. I was watching the local news, and it ended with this feel-good story about this young special needs child who'd been playing basketball, and at the last game, they set it up so that this child could get on the court and make a basket. Everybody knew that this child was included on the team, but never really got any court time because he wasn't a good player. But they included him. They let him in, and they made a point of making him feel good about his participation on this team. And another story in tonight's local news was that the Skinny Atlas ice hockey team was going to make the States and was considered the best team in the state. And it was the girls' ice hockey team. And as I watched the news, I realized that the three anchors of this news production, 2 men, 1 woman, 2 young, 1 old, 1 person of color, 2 white people. But it was diversity, it was equity, and it was inclusion. Now, every single one of those anchors did their job to perfection. I would say that the Lady Lakers, who are their #1 ice hockey team in the state, did their job. And I would say the inclusion of this young special needs kid was a beautiful thing. It was the feel-good story. It was the end of the show. Now, you need to tell me why diversity, equity, and inclusion is bad. And don't tell me that they're hiring inferior people, because that's not true. You know, every one of us grew up in their own time. I'm older than you guys. I'm older than a lot of people. I remember a time when every single woman would say out loud, "It's a man's world. The man got the promotion. The men always got the promotion." If you worked at a bank, women were bank tellers, men were bank clerks. If you got promoted at the bank, women became bookkeepers, men became accountants. You know, women weren't promoted in the same way that men were promoted. And an average white guy with a high school diploma could walk in off the street as a bank clerk and be promoted up to the ranks of bank president in that branch president. There was never a woman branch president when I was a child. Women couldn't get credit cards when I was a child. You couldn't divorce your husband if he beat you black and blue and put you in the hospital with broken limbs. You could not divorce your husband. Now, you see women in workplace. Women have credit cards. Women run businesses. Women are everywhere. You see Black CEOs. You see millionaires and billionaires of color. You see entrepreneurs and inventors and scientists of every shape and size. You see children with special needs going to school, being included. When I was a kid, the special needs children were kept in a special section, and when they reached a certain age, they were shipped off to a group home or a mental institution so that their parents weren't burdened for their whole life. Now, if diversity, equity, and inclusion is such a crime, then cart me off, because I'm all for it. Fuck you, and fuck your horrible attitude towards DEI hires. We're not going back to a time where women could get beaten to death, and where Black people and women couldn't get promoted, and where special needs children just got shipped off and hidden away because you didn't want to see them. And we know damn well that Trump thinks that way, because his nephew told a story about how Trump said his special needs son should just go somewhere to die. So fuck you. If you hate diversity, equity, and inclusion, you're the problem. Don't say DEI. Say it out loud. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. And acknowledge your bias and your hate, because that's what this is. It's pure male white supremacy hate.
Oh, Christina's blacked out. She's shocked by it all. Your lights go out at the most dramatic time, Christina. I love it. She's in shock.
I didn't even tell you.
We are running super late today, but if you are one of our viewers of Uncensored Horror, we had a big conversation about Scream 7. There's been more Scream 7 casting news. Ethan Embry, those of us that are from the 90s will remember Ethan, has joined the cast, but we had a big conversation about Scream 7. Go check it out on the Facebook page. And huge news for geeks everywhere. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a sequel series, is in negotiations at Hulu. It comes directly from the mouth of the Slayer herself. Sarah Michelle Gellar has released a statement saying it's happening, it's going ahead.
I could almost kill you for blaspheming the Queen right there.
We are running way over time, but thank you for joining us, everyone. It's been a pleasure. So stay dry, stay out of the sky. You know,
stay off the ice.
Yeah,
stay off all the ice.
And keep away from ice as well. You know? It's just
and yay Buffy.
And yay Buffy, you know, but at least, you know, you're still all citizens at the moment. Birthright citizenship. We can't decide what's happening. But well,
guys, I've got a Zeppelin to catch.
Right.
Luke's going out to Blaze of Glory, so will we. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Admiral